Hey guys, can you tell it's 2020? I know I can. I just love the fact that people on this planet will never actually view one of these guys the same after we can get through COVID and this giant, colossal mess that is this pandemic. So, that's a wonderful way to start the video, right? I digress already, and we're not even 25 seconds into the video. So, alright guys, well, I'm going to give a life update of where I have been and what I'm doing these days, as well as where I'm at with vestibular conditions and all of the above, like I've done on my previous videos. I think you all will be happy to hear in that area of things how I'm doing. Guys, I first of all just want to point out a big fat thank you to you all in the comments section. I saw that you guys wanted to hear an update and see how I'm doing, and I really appreciate you all reaching out and just everyone throughout the course of this journey and how painful it's been. The support, the bad moments, the great moments, if you can even say there are great moments. But yeah, guys, it's mid-2020. We're in August. We only have the fall to get through. And 2021, let's hope it's better, right? I'm optimistic, kind of. Fingers crossed. So, let's just rewind and start with, I guess, the beginning of 2020 and all of this. So, for many of you that know, I had a vestibular condition called vestibular neuritis that I was diagnosed with last summer, towards the middle of last summer. And it was extremely horrifying. I was dizzy for 3 months straight with the internal vertigo, all of that, before I got my first break. And then I had several months after that where I would go in and out for a month here and there. It's just a very slow trajectory to health with this thing, in any real vestibular condition. But my message here is a message of hope, and that unlike a lot of other videos you see out there, you can actually beat a vestibular condition. You can fully bounce back to normal. I am living proof of it. So, I will start out the year talking about how I went to a conference. I really risked it this last year before COVID and everything hit. I went to a conference. It was down in Atlanta, and I did get the dizziness again because I had to fly. I had to stay up late. It was loud music. It was everything you could imagine that would cause a vestibular condition to reemerge. And guess what? It did. So, I was dizzy for about 1 month post that event. And then slowly but surely, I practiced the grounding technique of focusing on how to balance. When I move my hand, I focus on my hand. When I focus on my hips while I'm walking, because that sustains my balance. All those things really have just been extremely helpful in bringing me back to my center of gravity and that compensation that is so key to get through vestibular dizziness or related dizziness. So, that being said, I actually, even through all the craziness of COVID and all of the civil unrest in the country and just everything that kind of has gone into the crazy season that this has been for everybody involved and the sad season, that I would have thought I'd be dizzy this whole time, but surprisingly enough, I've actually coped pretty well. That is, I did have a bout of dizziness recently, and it was very brief. It was due to some heartbreak in my life, and I'll probably at some point do another life advice video on that subject, but just briefly, I had started talking to someone at the beginning of summer. It showed a lot of promise, and then actually it sadly did end. Which did put me into a negative spot, and with the vestibular stuff, I mean, that doesn't make it any easier, and on top of that, I actually lost a ton of money in the market, so it was like insult to injury all within 24 hours. It was ironic how crappy it was, but you know what? How do you make a sword stronger? You put it in the fire and you pound on it more. So I just see myself as emerging from this. And I halfway wonder if I became a better person because of all of it. So I have to focus on that. Positivity, guys, I can't go enough into it. It's easy to watch someone be all positive and judge them and say, well, they just don't know my life, and it's terrible, and I'm sick of seeing the positivity, and why can't you just be real and say, yeah, life sucks? Well, the truth of the matter is life has moments of suck, and life has moments of happiness. And I choose to focus on the moments of happiness to pivot and navigate the moments of pain. And you have to do that because that's what I feel like over time gives you the true meaning to your life. And it should be more about the enjoyment and the process than it should be about really highs and really lows. I think stability and balance is the key to a successful and uplifting life. And when you're like that, you inspire others to be like that. And that's how you get a contagious revival happening among people and happiness. I read a statistic recently on millennials and just everybody during the whole COVID crisis of isolation, and the suicide rates were up dramatically. And honestly, guys, it really it breaks my heart, because there's no reason that someone should ever end their life due to the pain and the suffering in it. And trust me, I know what it's like. I know. Trust me. There were moments during the vestibular condition where doctors had told me they don't even know what's wrong with me, and they don't know if I'll ever bounce back, and I might have to live with internal dizziness the rest of my life. I fully did contemplate ending my life. I can honestly talk about it now. It took me a while to get to that point, to even recognize that I was contemplating it. Mainly because I just view myself as a pretty uplifting, happy guy. I'm pretty happy-go-lucky. And the fact that I was in that spot is astounding to me personally. But life situations can really get the best of you. And the problem is you focus on that situation in that moment, and you aren't taking the 30,000 viewpoint of understanding how that one situation impacts all the other future situations in your life, and how it can be a positive and a net gain. It's real hard even for me to sit here and preach at people during crisis and times like this, because I'm not preaching at you. Don't think of it as me preaching at you. Think of it as me trying to point to pieces in your life that could be so much better than they are just if we change our mindsets, And the reason why I bring up all of this is because I'm coming back to vestibular conditions. Vestibular conditions are not easy to work through, and a lot of it is your mentality and your will to fight through it and understand what's wrong with you and give yourself the time to heal from it. It's like that with any type of illness that is strong onset and doesn't go away immediately. And even if the illness is lifelong, I'm still talking to people that have had vestibular conditions and dizziness for years, and they're still hoping for their day where they're going to get through it. And I've met people that had it for years, and they did get through it. And then I met people that had it for a month or two, and they got through it. So know that you will get through it, and I am living proof. When I had my resurgence of dizziness, it was like 2 days, guys, and then I bounced back, and I'm good now. And the reason why I'm good is because you start learning to focus not on the dizziness. And the problem is you go through a few stages when you're dizzy constantly. You go through, am I still dizzy? Am I still dizzy? And you do this mind check where you just are constantly checking into your mind, and you're trying to figure out, okay, am I good? Am I good? And every single time you do that, you're actually prolonging the dizziness and your body's ability to compensate for it. So what you really have to get used to doing is you have to learn grounding techniques, and you have to learn not to think about it anymore. Get involved with something else. Go for a walk. Get out there. Do something social. Get your mind off of it. And the sooner you get your mind off of that feeling, that imbalance, that vertigo internally, that terrible tiredness, the neurological fatigue that so often accompanies the dizziness, you have to, first take care of you. Get a lot of sleep, and then get a set routine. Do some VRT. Get into the tones of life that promote happiness, and not in the tones that kill the happiness. And, that's basically all I have to say this time. I think that this fall has a lot of potential to be a great fall for you and for me. I'm learning every day new ways to entertain myself in the whole isolation period of this year. So I've learned to grow a lot personally from it. I'm not going to say I've become a reader, but I am reading more. I'll say that. But if you guys like this type of stuff, I'm going to be talking more in the future about some other topics. Go ahead and give me a follow. Keep the conversations coming in the chats below, guys. If you want to reach out to me, please, by all means, do. I love helping people get through stuff like this. You're not alone. Even if it's not a vestibular condition, you're just on here and you see this, and you just need some uplifting vibes. You know, I hate saying vibes. Why do I say that? You get what I mean. If you need to be uplifted, I would love nothing but these videos to help do that. So take a load off. You're getting through the year like we all are, and you're doing great. So keep it up, guys. Seriously. That's all I have for today. I'll probably come out with some videos coming up here soon. I'm hoping to. So, yeah. Stick with me, guys, and I'll stick with you. Thanks.